Welcome to Review Every Ship by CitizenCon 2024. The point is to give an update on every ship because some haven't had a video made about them in years and others, the information is simply too spread out to be helpful in making decisions. Remember, digital ships aren't imaginary, digital ships are imagine-necessary. A quick shout out to my first ninjas, Star Touch and Rob. Shout out to my Joni Ninja members, Radium TX, Paling 10, The Solid Exodus, Damon Danielson, Dark Wolf God, and ETL in Spades. And my Chunin Ninja members, Raygun 972, Walk on Yosai, Rage 1, Scorpio King 3, Soul Galaxia, Meat Salad, and Praetorian. And of course, all of my other members from every level who are listed at the end of the video. As always, membership is never required, but always appreciated. You help make this YouTube dream even more possible, so thank all of you. Every month we do a giveaway to give back to this wonderful community. This month's giveaway prize is an RSI Mantis with LTI that comes with both the M50 and Mantis Skull Crusher skins. To enter the contest, make sure you're subscribed to Billionaire Ninjas, leave a comment on at least one video, and like or dislike a video. Winners have 2 weeks to claim their prize. Members collectively have a 25% chance of winning just for being members, so if you're subscribed, consider hitting that join button, and if you're not subscribed, I appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. For the full giveaway details, make sure you visit our Billionaire Ninjas Discord or our social media at Ninjas Leap. Today, we begin our short ride through the Mirai manufacturer, and the next ships are the Mirai Fury series, and it's 3 variants. We have the Fury Base, 55 standalone, 50 war bond, was 50 at concept, cost about $727,000 in game. The LX, 55 standalone, 50 war bond, was 50 at concept, cost about $824,000 in game. The MX 55 standalone, 50 war bond, was 50 at concept, cost about $727,000 in game. All of the Fury series is time limited for sale. None of these ships are currently available for rent in game. Shatter the limits of performance with this next generation snub fighter from Mirai, featuring 4 Halo mounted size 2 laser repeaters, best-in-class maneuverability, and unprecedented integration of Xi'an tech. Unleashed all together, the Fury is a revelation in short-range space combat. Shatter the limits of performance with this next-generation snub bomber from Mirai, featuring 20 Halo-mounted missiles, best-in-class maneuverability, and unprecedented integration of Xi'an tech. Unleashed all together, the Fury MX is poised to devastate targets and redefine short-range space combat. Featuring best-in-class maneuverability and fully integrated cutting-edge Xi'an tech, the next-generation Fury LX racing ship from Mirai switches out the lithe ship's offensive capabilities to make room for additional maneuvering thrusters, perfect for getting across the finish line. The Mirai Fury.
Skylar, I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
For measurements, the base LX and MX are all the same. A length of 7 meters, beam of 5.4, height of 3. They are all size 1 snub ships. For crew, the Fury series all have the same minimum crew, which is 1, and maximum crew of 1. The base carries 0 SCU, the LX carries 0, the MX carries 0. The claim time for the base, the LX, and the MX is all the same, 2 minutes. Expedited is about 40 seconds, and the expedited fee should be about 1,500 credits. The base and the MX have about the same speeds and maneuverability, a top SCM speed of 238 and a max speed of 1263. The SCM speeds are some of the best in the game, way above average overall, way above average for its class size, reaching the top 10 in its class. The nav max speed is the same, top 10 in its class. The LX adds about 11 to the SCM speed and about 19 to the nav max speed of the other models. The Fury LX is one of the top 10 most maneuverable ships in game. The MX and base are tied at a lower number, but they're still in the top 20. The Furies are the second worst performing spaceship in the game for hydrogen capacity, only beaten by the Kruger intergalactic ships. For weapons, the base comes stock with 4 size 2 pilot-controlled Badger repeater weapons, no remote turret guns, no manned turrets, no missiles. For weapons, the MX comes stock with, well, no weapons, no remote turret guns, no manned turrets. The MX does, however, have 14 size 2 Ignite missiles split between multiple racks and has 10 size 1 Marksman missiles split between multiple missile racks. The LX doesn't have anything that can even remotely be considered a weapon, turret, or missile. The hull HP for the base and the MX is 6,566, which is way below average overall, but way above average for a size actually, reaching third best. The LX is slightly less at 3,137. Well, I say slightly because in this class that really isn't slightly, but in overall, it's very much so slightly. But that pushes the LX down, way down below the base and the MX as far as hull HP and its below average status. The shields on the base and the MX are the Cloak Stealth Grade D shields, which are bubble type shields. The shield pool is about 1500 and it regens at about 67 HP per second. The shields on the LX are the Falco Competition Grade D shields, which are bubble type shields. The shield pool is the same and the regen is the same. For ship parts, the Furies all have the same size parts. The whole series has one small radar, one small computer, one small power plant, two small coolers, one small shield generator, one small fuel intake, one snub fuel tank, no quantum drive, no jump module, and no quantum fuel tank. Some special features and amenities for these ships are, well, not many amenities here for snub fighters, except it does have a little bit of external stowage for each model at about 220 micro SCU. My preferred loadout for the base is ballistic weapons because this is basically a flying quad turret. Then all military parts because nothing needs to last long in this. It's a pure combat ship and it's a snub, so it has to come back to a mothership. The same parts for the MX, but swap out those missiles for Rattlers and all those marksman missiles for arrow missiles. Now it's time to rate these ships. A rating I rate from 1 to 10. My 1 is only by if you have a unique reason that is specific to you or because you like the looks of the ship. My 10 is if you have the money, these ships are almost guaranteed to be useful to you in the game. A 1 doesn't mean the ships are useless or ugly, and a 10 doesn't mean that the ships are perfect. Just remember, these are just our ratings. Please give us yours in the comments down below, because we like to hear what you think so we're not just sitting in an echo chamber of how right we are. My rating for this ship is of course going to be handed out based on which variant we're looking at. The base is a 9, the LX is a 6, the MX is a 7. Let's start with what I like about all these ships. I am a huge fan of the Kruger ships, and if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that. But at this size, I think maneuverability is just more important than straightforward speed. But even if it wasn't, one of the best things about the Fury series is it's so well balanced when it comes to both speed and maneuverability. Not to mention these ships are fairly tough for their size, which is a nice relief from the normal terribly armored snub ship class. I also really love the way the cockpit looks in these. There's very high visibility all around, which more ships in Star Citizen need. Seriously, it's one of the best cockpits in Star Citizen. I also like how well the MX and the base fit together. The MX and the base, when used together, can really get those swarm tactics going. The LX, not so much. Nothing really there except to be a target to get shot at, but the MX and the base really can get that missiles from over here and gunshots from over here thing going, and it is really cool when you see it in action. What I like about the base, well, I'm gonna say it. The base Fury is the best snub ship in the entire game. It's a flying size 2 quad turret, but tougher than the turret would be armor-wise, and obviously more mobile than a turret. But the balance of speed and maneuverability is what makes it a perfect snub. It's exactly what you would want in a combat snub because it can get out, get shots on target, take at least one volley of shots without exploding, and return to the mothership for refueling and rearming. Now, it does depend on what guns that volley came from, so don't get too cocky out there. What I like about the LX is it's my kind of racing ship, and I'm not a racer at all. But again, I like balance. I'm kind of a Jedi in that way, but like Ahsoka type balancing, not Yoda type balancing. We don't go too far on the light side over here. Anyway, the LX would be the racing ship I would race if I was going for a non-combat racer. I like the aesthetic and the speed more on the Archimedes, but the LX just flies better. What I like about the MX, well, it's a bit weird, but I like its kind of weirdness. But that's only because it's a missile-only model. But finally, someone put the right missiles on one of these stock, all infrared missiles. None of that cross-section nonsense. It's also rightly split between size 2 and size 1 missiles by favoring the size 2 missiles and having more of those than the size 1s. So, what are the issues with all these ships and how would I fix them? Well, the only thing missing from this series really is a stealth variant, maybe with a mixed loadout keeping 2 size 2 weapons but with ballistic cannon stock, and maybe keep 6 size 2 missiles and 4 size 1 missiles, and get that 40% stealth discount to all the signatures. That would make this the perfect snub for me. That's where my 10 is sitting right now. So CIG, you want a 10 from me? Go do that. But let's be more specific to each. The base has one problem. Well, besides not being what I just described, it's the Razor EX, which is not included in the best snub conversation because technically it's not a snub. It has a quantum drive. However, it's the only ship that I would pick over the Fury because of that stealth capability and how difficult a ship that small is to hit when it's also pushing out a reduced signature. The guns are better and the maneuverability is better on the base, but the Razor EX has 3 times the stowage, which makes it usable as a normal everyday ship, better shields, better hydrogen range, and most importantly, it has a quantum drive with a jump module. You might think, well, yeah, it's 3 times the cost of a Fury. It better have all that stuff. That's where you're half right and half wrong. Outside the game, yeah, but inside the game, the Razor EX is only 1.7 million to the base Fury costing 727,000, and it doesn't take that long to earn 1.7 million in the game. But what keeps the Razor EX at bay is the compact nature of the Fury base. It's just so impossibly small at nearly half the size of the Razor, which is already really small. Pick the Razor if you need the range or more utility from your snub, but if you need a pure fighter, I would go with the Fury base. The LX, which has no weapons, suffers from the same problem that all ships suffer from with no weapons, a lack of other utilitarian purpose. I wish ships with no weapons had better scanners or better computers so they could double as data runners, or better stowage so they could be smugglers at the micro SCU level, or if I stretch my imagination, even an E-Warfare suite. Just literally anything else so that I can have a reason to buy a racing ship without weapons. I don't care if it doesn't have weapons, just give me a multi-role racing ship without weapons. But I get it. There are some racing ship purists out there that want some ships to be strictly racing. I don't mind one of those at every category, but not multiples. At least not right now. And right now, we have multiples. The MX has an issue that I think will be balanced away later in the development of the game, but I had to take a point off for it until it happens. Missiles just don't work right at the moment and are not balanced properly. For a ship that is all missiles, that is a very big problem. It doesn't mean you can't get off your shots and do some damage, it just means your effectiveness will be minimized. So, who are these ships for? The LX is for the racer who prefers a more balanced flight, the MX is for people who really like shooting missiles, and the base is for anyone who needs a combat snub ship, and even for people who don't, because you'll either end up loving the way it flies and keeping it around, or you end up finding a use for it. I imagine using the LX as my incredibly fast point A to point B ship where time is of the essence, but for the most part, I have that covered with my Archimedes. So this would be more so for when I need to look for something or something along the way because it has better visibility. The MX I would use for swarm tactics because I can imagine 8 of these things giving any ship below a subcapital size a massive headache. I would have 8 of these parked inside of an unsuspecting ship like a Starfarer and let them slowly leak out and have everyone wondering where the heck they are coming from. Not to mention, you can mount an extra 4 on the side of the Starfarer. If you know, you know. Lastly, the base. I imagine taking one of these around with me in pretty much any ship that can carry one and still have a bit of cargo capacity left. I also can imagine using these as the primary defenders of my smallest outposts. And a quick reaction force for all outpost combat. I think of these as the first responders before the F7As and F8Cs come out to play. I know you're here for R rating, but if you really want a ship, go buy it. We won't stop you. Or even better, all ships can be earned in game once the game releases, and some you can purchase in game right now. These are just our ratings, but when you spend, it's your money. My opinion, you really can't go wrong with any of these ships if you're buying them in game, but the only snub in the entire game I would say is worth real money would be the Fury base. Now, I wouldn't spend my real money on a ship that I could earn in less than a day of effort in the game, but let's just say if you did, I'm not mad at you. It's a hell of a ship. All right, that is it for this one. Shout out to the members. Thanks for spending your time with us. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.